Welcome back to my channel, Lotusthesage. I'm Lotus. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we have another pick a card, and we're going to do a love reading that talks about your path towards your desires. If you have somebody in mind, it'll probably be the most effective that way. But if not, and you're just keeping it as general, just alter some of the things that I might say for yourself. We have huge stacks today. It's going to be a pretty in-depth reading. 3 piles as per usual. Our first pile, this is your option for pick a card. For pile 1. For pile 2. And for pile 3. So, take a second, take a deep breath, think about the person that's on your mind or love situation that is happening in your life, and we will get into your reading. I'll see you at your piles. Ciao. Welcome, my pile 1. Okay, let's give me a second to lay out all of your cards. Okay, my collective of pile 1. This position over here is going to be your present situation, what's actually happening in your life currently. The number 2 position over here is going to be what you desire. And 3, 4, and 5 positions are going to be the bridge between how to get to what you're desiring. Then we'll look into the Lover's Oracle to get some messages from Spirit about your love life, feelings behind what is going on emotionally for you, messages from the person on your mind and or from Spirit, and that will be the end of the reading when it comes to context. Alright, so let's get into your present situation. So I'm not doing any reverses for the tarot today. Speaking of, 2 of Cups, and Cancer, immerse. Okay, my collective of pile 1, it feels like your present situation seems pretty nice. It feels like you're in a balanced, harmonious union. It feels like you are in connection with somebody in particular, excuse me. The Cancer being the crab, you know, it talks about that shell, the hard shell but the soft on the inside, and using that as a metaphor or reflection for how you might be either overly protecting yourself in certain areas and might need to feel a little bit more vulnerable. Spirit is bringing me to the tipped scale on the 2 of Cups, where one side is a little bit heavier than the other, and in the card it's the feminine side. So it feels like the feminine energy in this connection may have a tendency to get too immersed in love dynamics and overly start to give. So in all fairness, it does feel pretty good. It just feels like there is something that can be looked at to be re-examined for a better balance between you and the person that's on your mind. You could also be wanting to combine and blend and to have an immersion with each other in some way, meaning like to step up or further the connection, whether that be like moving in or making it more official or whatever the case is. There is the feeling of wanting to sort of solidify and, I guess, settle. Settle's not the right word. I just heard be done looking. So apply that if that resonates. Okay. There's a deep compatibility and a want for this. I feel like there's a very clear mutual attraction also, but I do feel there is a tendency for the female energy to overgive. Okay, let's see what you actually desire. We have the Spirit of Pentacles, which is the King of Pentacles. with Dragon's Hoard, protecting the future. Yep, and I think that's where I was getting the feeling of settling or grounding in or solidifying in some way, like making it a permanent thing is the way I'm trying to get it, even though nothing is permanent. That's why I was having a hard time using that word. So this King of Pentacles, your desire is to ground in this connection that you have, for it to maintain its nurturing and giving qualities, protecting and preserving the love that has already been established and is continuing to grow. Yeah, you're wanting to create a legacy. You're wanting this person to be a part of your legacy. You want this situation or the person to be a little bit more bold, to not delay or overthink what they're actually feeling or what the actual connection and the dynamic is between the two of you. There is in the Dragon's Hoard, there is a feeling, there is a call, that's not the right word. There is a sense and a presence of waiting, that you might have to wait a little bit longer than you want to, since the Pentacles is a slower moving energy also, but the Dragon's Hoard talks about you may be the one waiting for this particular solidification of the relationship in a sense. And so Spirit's just asking you to keep your thoughts light and positive and set your affirmations and prayers and keep connecting and be open, offering up of love and generosity and kindness and oneness. I'm getting a steady progression, things in concession, a sense of timing, slower paced, so there's no hiccups and no doubts, is what I just heard. Okay, let's see the connecting, the bridge between you and your desire. Nice. The Star, healing, a wish fulfillment, a wish being granted, divine protection, divine guidance, with shining through. As I said that on the clock, it said 1, 2, 3, 4. Like I said, at progression and concessions, right? So the Star, speaking about shining through, I'm getting a sense of allowing your inner beauty and allowing your inner wisdom to shine through your actions and gestures and acts of service. They're telling me for you not to put not put a hard emphasis or pressure on this desired outcome. They're telling me to allow it to shine on its own, to let it develop and blossom on its own, letting it follow the natural trajectory of where Spirit is leading this connection. The key concepts for shining through are self-expression without filters or masks, which is asking you to be a little bit more authentic, to shine, to show who you are, like we said, or to show what you want for that matter, or to speak up a little bit. I don't feel like it's a speak up. I feel it's already been said. That's why it's like don't pressure. It's sort of just show why that would be the best decision to make or the best course of action moving forward because of your genuine, authentic character. Authentic communication, being proud of who you are, exactly. They're asking you to refuse to make yourself small in this situation or to diminish what it is that you want and what you're worthy and deserving of. So shine your beautiful lightness out so that this person or the situation is more comfortable, or it is without question and obvious that you are the right choice, and that is the right choice to solidify, to make more permanent in a sense. I don't like that word. Okay, let's see what else. The Wayfarer, which is the Lovers in this deck. Union, balance, choice. Yeah, it's the choice to choose you and you to choose them. That's really what I feel like is happening. I feel like you need to choose yourself first. You've already chosen this person, so no need to put any more effort and weight in that. It's just for you to come out and shine. Show them why you're the shit, why you should be the one. You know, not in a way of proving it to them. It's just in, like I said, your natural character. You being your beautiful, authentic, open, communicative, beautiful self allows them into a preview of what could be with you long term. Then we have spring. See your seeds grow. Yeah, that's what that lover is, right? It's like putting in that effort, the choice to be one another's person, to put in the effort towards one another. Wow, this is really lovely and sweet. Maybe in the spring, you'll see some more movement and action towards the desired outcome, or steps getting closer towards that desired outcome. Yeah, you've already planted the seeds since the spring, right? And this intention of yours is in the works, in other words. So Spirit is asking you just to trust that they've got you, trust that this legacy will be established in some way, shape, or form. Your desired outcome will be achieved as long as you allow yourself to not falter from your divinity. Okay, let's see where this continues. Seven of Swords. Interesting. I feel like Spirit is telling you right now, when it comes to the Seven of Swords energy, is to try to not get distracted by their insecurities in moments where they might pull away and back away, quiet down, or semi-ghost you in a sense, or just go dark, in other words. And there's something about their indecision in the present moment that is what you're sort of having to navigate. Why Spirit is saying just trust that this is where this is leading, regardless of what might be externally happening in your temporal reality. But it also talks to me about a strategy on how to get there. And the way that the Seven of Swords, is like looking back, which the left generally tends to be about the past, right? And they're looking at the Lovers. The Lovers is looking straight out, so is the Star. Two of Cups is looking towards the Star. Spirit of Pentacles looking straight out. You know, so it's like there is a looking back to what's been shown, what's been offered, what's been seen. You know, and this person is trying to find, the person on your mind is trying to find a strategy on how to really get to that end goal with you. Even though it feels a little shady at times, I can feel that. Interesting. Wow. Then you have sensuality. Your freedom flowing from far away. I dance, I love, I laugh, I play. Ooh, I love it. This is a new deck for me. It was a birthday gift from one of my friends. My birthday is tomorrow. I'm filming this on the 11th of March, side note. Anyways, what I'm getting here is, again, the strategy to find that sensuality, to bridge this gap, which is what this is about, right? The freedom flowing far away. Again, when I was talking about ghosting or, you know, going quiet or dark, that's what I'm getting from this Seven of Swords and the sensuality. It's like, how do I bring in this goal that I'm seeking, or how do I bring to fruition what I'm feeling is what I'm getting more strongly. And the person is trying really, truly, I feel, really trying to find a way to almost like mute the sensuality or attraction that they feel for you at times, because they really just want to make like a conscious, clear choice and not be overly bombarded by emotions. All right, let's see where this leads. So we're going into the Lover's Oracle. Again, guidance from Spirit. Criticizing one another will only lead to further unhappiness. Love and accept each other as you are, and your relationship will magically transform. So, hence why Spirit's saying just don't pressure, accept as you are. This person's trying to figure it out, and you guys are trying to figure out each other, hence the choice. And the out of balance, so to speak, when it comes to the emotional give and take in moments, not always, and it's not drastic. It's just there's a little bit more effort on the female's energy side as opposed to the masculine energy side, regardless of this being same-sex relationships or whatever spectrum that you sit under. The point being that there's always there is a duality. We live on a duality planet. So that both energies are always present. It does not matter. So whoever the female energy is the one that right now is giving a little bit more than the masculine energy. Cool? All right. See what your sexual tarot has to add to this criticizing one another. So it's first one out. 7 of Wands. Oh my God. 6 of Swords. And the Hierophant. 7 of Wands talks about whispering. The 6 of Swords talks about rolling about. And the Hierophant, if I'm not mistaken, in this deck talks about support. Yeah, support. So if criticizing one another will lead to unhappiness, the 7 of Wands here, about whispering, rolling around, and support. So it's like, I'm getting a feeling of don't overly talk about what's happening in your dynamic with your friends or other people, because it feels like even unintentionally their input or their energy sort of taints the purity of your union. That's what I'm getting. So this whispering, it's like don't gossip about it, don't overly talk about what's happening. The rolling around I'm getting is sort of just like the tossing and turning of the in and out, you know, of the indecision or the doubt or the process of how to find the strategy to get to that end desired goal. And the support is what I'm feeling that Spirit's asking you to do, is just support who each other is, which is coming back to this. Love and accept each other as you are, and your relationship will magically transform. And that's the support, right? No more tossing and turning, no more whispering or overly gossiping or being like overly frustrated, even though understandably, don't get me wrong, but Spirit's just saying that energy that you're putting out, even if it's in jest or good fun or just to sort of get off your chest, just be mindful of how you're talking about what's happening between you and your person. Cool. All right, so this is going to be messages from your person or the person on your mind. Number 5, when I see flowers, I think of you. Oh, that's beautiful. Maybe you guys have a connection to flowers, maybe scents in particular. Maybe there is a specific flower that your person knows that you love, etc. Either way, I'm getting a sense of just reminiscing about your personal beauty. Again, this shining through, this flower, that's what I'm getting, you know? Beautiful. And then message from the universe. I'll hold it up here. You can take a second, I'm going to read it to you. It says, the past is behind you now, so drop the fears and doubts. Even though you may feel a little uncomfortable at the moment and slightly anxious over what is coming next, you are being urged to bring yourself back to the present moment. Your recent prayers have been heard and are currently being worked on. That's what we said already with that star, you know? It's being worked on. So do not doubt, don't overly gossip, be supportive, be patient. My least favorite word at the moment. There we go, next message. Nice. New beginning, a new adventure awaits. Embrace it and live your dreams passionately. Sorry about that message, but that was a do-do-do-do. You got a confirmation from my iPad. Live your dreams passionately. New beginning. It's coming in for you, my loves. Let's see what the sexual tarot has. We have the 8 of Cups, the 10 of Cups. Nice. And the 4 of Wands. Talk about new beginnings, huh? If we're looking at the traditional tarot of the 8 of Cups, talk about walking away, walking towards something. So the ghosting, the walking in and out, the 10 of Cups is what you wanted, and the 4 of Wands being that celebratory, you know, wedding-y, 11-11 union type of card. But in this deck, I do like to go by their actual description, because why would the creator do all this work without me trying to learn what they wanted from the card, you know? That's my personal opinion. No disrespect to anybody else. So the 8 of Cups talks about bashfulness. The 10 of Cups talks about attachments. And the 4 of Wands talks about masturbating. So I'm wondering, it's so funny, sorry, Spirit is just like, maybe for the time being, even if you don't see each other, you can have some great imaginative masturbation moments with yourself. Thinking about this person, that's what I just got first. But side note, this bashfulness, maybe there is this, again, from your person, a little bit of this coyness, and this might have, you guys might be the same people who came to one of my other readings the other day. I can't remember which pile it was. But there was a similar energy with this bashful coyness about how they or you have been operating in some dynamic of your love life. And the attachment to the person, right? It's sort of like, it feels like not everything has fully been expressed in it when it comes to the desire, or the weight of the desire, I would say, between each person. I don't know if everything has really truly been fully communicated. And maybe that's the reason why they're asking you to step out and communicate a little bit more, to shine and to speak up for what you want without pressure. No ultimatums, not stuff like that. I'm sorry, I have the wrong interpretation for 4 of Wands. I had to double check that. It stands for playing. So, same idea. My interpretation of what I was feeling is not wrong, just it says for playing. So there is this want, again, for this new beginning, this bashfulness or this coyness, to be playful, to the connection and attraction that you have towards each other for this new beginning. Yeah, a new adventure awaits, so embrace it. Embrace it. This is what's coming in for you. So use this energy, this new beginning energy, to your best advantage, and allow for space. That's what I'd say. Allow for space between you and your person. Nice. Okay, messages from them. I love our deep conversations. They open up my mind. Look at this. Talk about communication, right? This is probably part of one of the major attractions towards you too, is how easily you guys might be, no, not easy, how much flow that you guys have, but there does feel like some sort of like resistance to acknowledging the depth of it. There's something about that. It's not like they can't feel it or it's not there. It's like they're just not, I feel like, accepting it or fully sure yet. Okay, message from the universe. Sorry for the shadow, take a second. Cool. In your journey, there will be times where you'll feel lost, confused, lonely, and angry. These are times of transition. You won't feel those emotions forever. You are transitioning to a better, stronger version of self. Shed away those unneeded layers and keep growing. Yeah. And this is the uncertainty, you know, with that 7 of Swords and that sensuality, that's all there. It's just keep going, keep that sensuality and a zest for life and impetus towards your goal. Keep that clear focus, because you're getting there. Like it's been reiterated like 4 times. Your wish is coming in. Wish is coming in. Wish is coming in. Wish is coming in. You know, 2 of Cups. Like, you have a lot of really lovely love energy specifically for you. Awesome. Last messages, my beautifuls. Beware of what you're projecting, for the qualities you admire in one another are qualities you both possess. Equally so, the qualities you don't like are also your own reflection. So this is that, right? So taking the time to reflect. I think we did talk about a little bit of reflection here, to see what it is or how it is that you might be mirroring each other. It may not be exactly identical. That's what people sometimes get confused about when it comes to mirroring. It's like the energy the energy can translate in a different way, even though the reflection might be similar. So if there's sort of hesitation or an indecisiveness within this character in some way, there is that part of you that also exists inside you as well. So where is your hesitation in this connection, and where does that lie? Is it in the doubt? Is it in the hesitation? Is it in the want? Who knows what that is, but that is also a reflection on them, but playing out in a different way because they're a different person. So the main thing in how to get to your goal is to remain positive, to shine your authentic self, to stay true to what you're wanting, to be reflective and observant of your person, to give space, to be supportive and patient, because this new beginning is coming in for you. Lovely. Last messages. Two of Swords. The World. Nice. And the Chariot. If I remember, I think Two of Swords talks about biting or offering. The World talks about gratitude. Two of Swords talks about inviting. The World is gratification, and the Chariot is conquest. So beware of what you're projecting, for the qualities you admire in one another are qualities you both possess. The Two of Swords, when it's talking about this inviting, it's inviting you to relook at the relationship, the dynamic, each other, and what you're offering. And the gratification of what's to be, what can be, or just the gratification of knowing that your decision is sound. Like you're good with the decision you've made or how you're feeling about it. And that conquest is like, to get to that desire is, I want to conquer this. I want to conquer, not in a sense of dominion over, but in a sense of accomplishing the goal. Which is creating that legacy, protecting the future, grounding in this relationship, stable, whole, and supportive. That is the path to your desires. I hope that was helpful for you, period. Let me know if you feel comfortable sharing your story or how this may have been applicable to you. I'm sending you so much love. If it was helpful, please leave it a like, share, subscribe. All of it's truly helpful. Thank you so much. Till next time, ciao. Welcome, my pal, to Let's Lay Out Your Cards. Okay, collective of Pal 2, let's get into your reading. Your first position is your present situation. The second position over here is what you actually desire. And 3, 4, and 5 are technically the bridge the bridge to get to what you desire. We're going to look at some love messages from Spirit, person on your mind, etc. Get the sexual tarot to add some context to the messages. Then we'll get some messages from your person or spirit, like we said, and some advice from the universe, and then we will pick a guidance card to close off the reading. Okay, let's see what your first message is. Tarot. I'm not reading reversals for the tarot today. We have the Four of Stones, power of the earth. With the Sun, source. So what I'm getting from your present situation with the Four of Stones, the power of the earth, which is, it feels, especially with this depiction of the Four of Pentacles, the Four of Stones, is it feels a lot more sturdy and grounded and not so relatable to the traditional tarot depiction of the Four of Pentacles, where there is this sort of miserly connotation can be behind the card. And with this particular one, I really do feel like there is an earthing and a grounding, but the difference in where the miserly, in my opinion, starts, or my opinion feels, is, I'm not sure if you can see this. It sort of looks like to me like trees on fire. So I wonder if there's two things. If there's so much intensity and so much want for something to be the thing, be the source of happiness, or be the source, or be the person for that matter. I'm getting intuitively a warning of not overwhelming the connection or situation with too much. Like too much fire, too much passion, too much attention on one thing. You know, like they're showing me like a magnifying glass, the sun through the magnifying glass. The intensity of what it builds up, it burns, and it just sets things on fire. It's too much. That's an interesting vibration that I'm getting from this. There is a need for this balance and in almost like I don't know how to say that. It feels sort of, there is a need to earn the amount of attention I feel that could be possibly given from one party or the other. You know, and right now it feels like it's too freely given, and not that you shouldn't or want to, but it needs to be balanced is the point. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, it does feel like there's this awesome potential, of course. There's a want for this thing to bloom, to blossom. But again, there is this need for temperament, for balance, for the removal of the ego and the self, in a sense. To know that, you know, you are the center of your universe, but so you are the center of the universe, but so is the other person, you know? It's that kind of energy. Interesting. Okay. Let's see what you desire. Son of Wands, charisma, which is the Page of Wands. That comes up with lost compass, getting back to integrity. I'm getting there's a desire, They're bringing me back to the sun energy. I'm understanding that it feels, they're explaining it to me that my viewer, I feel that it's my viewer, can be the other person, you apply this how it applies, that there's such an excitement for this want, you know, that you can sometimes overwhelm it with so much energy and passion that it burns out before it can start to grow. And so what you're desiring is to figure out, what does it say, getting back to integrity, right? Yeah. To figure out where that balance, like we talked about, that temperance lays within your own want for things, right? Which is that Son of Wands, that Page of Wands, and that charisma that Page of Wands naturally has. Technically in the traditional tarot, it's that Don Juan, the Casanova, the smooth talker, you know? It's they just know how to get what they want in the smoothest and usually most sexy way possible. You know, it's talking about lost compass, trying to come back to that center point, that true north, the truth within yourself. And it's not necessarily about dimming, it's about channeling and funneling that sun source fiery energy into something that's a little bit more able to absorb instead of just burn. I hope that's clear. I'm going to read a little passage from the book. Spirit is asking me to read this end passage, and it says, make this your mantra, love me or leave me. The lost compass is a blessing in disguise, because you sometimes have to lose your bearings and find yourself afresh to discover a new course. True north never changes, so reset your way to your heart's compass, and trust your deepest feelings even when others do not support them. Remember that you are not lost, you simply do not know where you're going right now. Lost is a state of mind. Not knowing where you're going is an opportunity to find a way to a new path. Now that's perfect. And that's what you're heading towards when it comes to your love dynamic. Period. Single, in a relationship, situationship, long-term, short-term, doesn't matter. That's awesome. Okay, let's see the bridge to get there. 4 Wands, protection. And it is what it is. I'm getting this, the acceptance of what it is, you know, the acceptance of who you are, and knowing that that's your sort of, your life force and your reason behind so much input, that you're, because your desire and want for that celebration, that union, that perfect love feeling, you know, the perfection of all four corners too, like 2 4s in a row. It's that stable north, east, south, west, like head, heart, mind, body. You know, it's a whole thing. It's like the perfection of the completion of understanding that, you know, this is my person, this is my one, or this is the energy I want to feel. And coming back to like the mantra, love me or leave me, it's sort of like I'm not going to dim myself anymore. I'm just going to be able to manage it better, to show it better. There's a difference. But it feels like you either get shut down or it gets burnt, like we said, because that energy hasn't sort of been mastered yet. And the is what it is coming back to the acceptance of you, the acceptance of situations, of, you know, misconnections or misunderstandings, or even just ignorance in some form, from others, from yourself. It feels more like from others, if I'm honest. The key concepts for it is what it is: radical acceptance, engaging life on life's terms, there it is, observing circumstances and taking them at face value, recognizing and releasing resistance and denial. There's also a feeling too of accepting that maybe, I don't feel that, but I'm gonna say it anyway, the idea of the perfection is not necessarily supported by everyone, like they said in that, you know, getting back to your integrity, but you're creating your reality. So you're like, well, this is what I want. And if I'm the creator with source of what I want, agree, there has to be an acceptance of what there is. I cannot be blinded to the reality of my environment, but that still does not mean that I can't create the life, love, partner, union, connections that I want in my life. I just have to be aware of what doors I'm walking in and who's actually supporting me and who's literally there just to observe. Okay, let's see the connecting energy still. We have Daughter of Cups, connection. With mountains, stand your ground. It's the same feeling for me. It's the wanting to be able to express and offer your type of love in almost all of its fiery glory is what I'm getting. But this water is a perfect example of me talking about tempering that, you know, the fire, water, making that steam a little less, you know, let's say intrusive or overwhelming, or smaller doses of. But Spirit, however, is still saying, stand your ground in what it is that you're looking for. Like we said, this perfection, the connection that you're seeking, like we've talked about. And the connection to yourself and understanding who you are. It is what it is, who I am. Standing my ground in the belief of what I want to accomplish, which is coming back to my integrity of really trying to find the right connections for me. Love that. All right. And we have the Hanged Man, uniqueness. This is all fitting too when it comes to the acceptance of you and the acceptance of what is, and the uniqueness, the new perspective, the ability to allow yourself to be this type of lover, you know, this type of energy that you want, deep, fiery, passionate, uninhibited, unbridled, freaking hot love. You know, you want something like exciting, explosive, but like connected and soothing all at the same time. Lovely. Number 18. You got 18 twice. 18 might be significant, or the number 9. Best possible decision. Artemis, goddess of the bow, help me to see what must be known. Love that. And again, talk about the uniqueness in you, your perspective. You know, 8 over here, number 18. 6 and number 18 again over here. So yeah, 8 and 9s might be really significant for you, my 𝗍𝗲𝗍𝒆. Either way, the best possible decision for you is to see the way of you, to embrace what is your own uniqueness, the way that you want to love, but allowing yourself to recognize what needs to sort of be tempered and what is observed for a need for you to temper and balance the way that you approach certain emotionally charged situations or connections. It's more about how can I just allow all of this fieriness to sort of be absorbed or taken in more fully. That's what you're really tempering. It's not really about how much you love or how you love, it's just how it's delivered in some capacity. Okay, let's get into these guys. The card that you chose, the message is forgiveness. Stop focusing your energy on past events, for life is too precious to waste. You create your reality by what you think, dream, and imagine. And that's what we're talking about here, right? The Four of Wands, the perfection, about creating what it is that you're actually seeking, even though it might not be supported by everyone or feel like it's a lofty dream or a wishful thinking, excuse me. All right, let's see what the sexual tarot has to add. 8 of Wands. Knight of Swords. 4 of Swords. So in this deck, the 8 of Wands talks about savoring, the Knight of Wands talks about devouring, and the 4 of Swords talks about masturbating. But again, coming with these 4s, you have the 4 of Pentacles, the 4 of Wands, now the 4 of Swords. This savoring in what it is that you desire is what I'm getting. The devouring of the energy is what we were talking about, right? That like sort of, it's sort of this, like that's magnifying glass with the sun through it. You know, it's this devours everything. It doesn't allow it to really grow, so it sort of just fizzles out, you know? And the 4 of Swords is masturbating, sort of like, again, I'm just taking this in the context of how they've described their pictures, you know? This sort of like masturbating with the idea of it working out in some way, you know? The 8 of Wands talks about fast input and communication traditionally in the tarot. The Knight of Swords talks about communication, fast communication also. Whimsical or flighty, and also it's a spying card, you know, sort of tempting. And the 4 of Swords talks about, in regular tarot, is like a rest and a reflective time. So it feels like the forgiveness sort of has to be with yourself, for allowing yourself to quote unquote masturbate with the idea of thinking that this way would work this time. It's sort of like learning the lesson and forgiving yourself for using the same method to try to attract what you're actually desiring, because there was not a recognition in some sense of who you were or how you loved or how you might have been received, even though all of your intentions, I'm sure was pure. And actually probably the most loving thing that could have been offered to the people you were attracted to. You know, but it's just a matter of tempering how that plays out. Okay. This says messages from them or from spirit. Number 14. My greatest wish is to make you smile and feel safe around me. And I think that's you. That's messages actually from your higher self. That's what it feels like. It feels like that's you. It's like this is your, again, a part of that pleasing. I didn't say people pleaser in that way, but this is what this is giving me. It's sort of like giving so much that you just want people to, like I said, the best intentions. I want them to feel safe, to feel comfortable, feel joyous, feel that sun energy. but it's like you've been giving too much and not receiving nearly as much back, for one. Two, been giving so much that you're burning out, quite literally. Three, giving too much and the situation burns out before it can even begin or can continue. And then Spirit's messages. You can pause, I'm going to read it to you. If you don't get something you really wanted at this time, if you feel stuck or feel like things are not going according to your plans, know that something bigger and better is coming. It's something filled with divine magic that couldn't come into your life if you are to receive what you're asking for now. That's interesting. So in whatever way, like we said, there's something better, bigger coming in for you. This is the reason why that things didn't work out, either why it burned out, why it fizzled, why it, whatever the case is. It sort of led you to this discovery, this self-acceptance of your beautiful uniqueness, and not allowing you to shy away from that anymore. Sort of being presented right into your face, being like, this is who you are. Will you deny this part of you? Or will you accept it? Next message. Talk about acceptance again. Surrender. At times we must surrender the old before something new can enter our lives. Let go and all will work out. Yep, talk about release, 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 release. Letting go of this way, this idea of self, how that translates in your life. First card, Ace of Cups. Three of Wands. And the King of Cups. So the Ace of Wands, the Ace of Cups in this deck talks about ecstasy. The King talks about satisfaction, and the Five of Wands talks about watching. So again, there's this observer energy, this surrender, this release, this, this new energy wanting to come in for you. So allow yourself to surrender to the experience of who you're unfolding into or out into. Yeah, surrender to that experience that's coming in, and to the perspective of and to the new perspective of yourself. Number 11, I'm in love with you. I just heard that you're finding a new love and appreciation for yourself. And I feel like because of that, you're going to find that right person that comes in and literally is just truly in love with who you actually are. Your full uniqueness, the best possible choice for you. As long as you surrender to the past version of yourself, meaning the belief in you needing to do more than you ever needed to do. There's like an ease coming in is what I'm feeling. You can pause if you like. I'm going to read it to you. You will soon be surprised and grateful for how everything happened the way it did for you to receive better and greater. It's all adding up in your favor. Trust the process and how things are unfolding for you, exactly as we said. Trust this process. We talked about the unfolding. It's all happening, my love. Third love messages. Oh my God. Freedom. There is nothing freedom. There is nothing stopping you. The path is clear if you want it to be. And that's it. This is all about it. Forgiveness. Once you forgive, you surrender, the freedom arrives. You are back into your integrity, into your charisma, into your full uniqueness. Ten of Swords. Eight of Swords. And the Ten of Wands. So the Ten of Swords talks about squeezing. The Eight of Swords talks about scratching, if I'm not mistaken, and the Ten of Wands talks about penetrating. So it's like whatever you felt squeezed into that you were barely scratching the surface of, getting what you wanted, you are now fully penetrating out. And they're showing me this sort of like victorious picture in this Son of Wands here. Like, it's that breakthrough. That's the penetration of you emerging, transformed, golden armor and all. Full charisma intact, freedom attained. You know, it's like the merger and the marriage or the union, the desire within the self that gets emanating out, that starts to emanate out of you, that actually brings in and attracts the right people, person, connection, alters the dynamic in some way. It doesn't really matter how this applies. It's just this is the energy about you and how to get to whatever it is you're desiring. The focus is to accept what is, to embrace your uniqueness and make the best choice for yourself. What if you trust in your intuition? My beautiful 𝗣𝗨𝗲s, I hope this was helpful and gave you some insight on how to get towards your desires. Sending you so much love. Until next time, ciao. Welcome, my 𝗣𝗨3. Let's lay out your cards and see how to get to, let's see what the path is to your desires. Okay, my 𝗣𝗨3. The first position here is your present situation. This Position number 2 is your actual desire. What you desire, and 3, 4, and 5 is the bridge to get towards that desire. We have love messages from spirit, from the person on your mind, etc. We'll get the sexual tarot to give us a little bit of extra context. Then we'll get messages from spirit and or from your higher self and some guidance. Alright, let's see what it is. Let's see what your present situation is. I'm not reading any reversals for the tarots today. Ten of Swords. With progressions, journey. My 𝗣𝗨3s. First energies I'm getting is a lot of blocked communication. My throat chakra just got really scratchy and itchy, especially when I started to reference what you actually desire and where you are now. The Ten of Swords obviously talks about a difficult situation, but you're at the end of that cycle. You've completed that obstacle that has either stabbed you in the back, made you feel depleted, or, you know, sort of hurt you in a way, in some way, of course, but is leading you to a state of empowerment to allow you to step into this new cycle. You've laid this to rest, and this is a part of your progression, a part of your journey, a part of your evolution. So your present situation when it comes to how to get towards your love desires feels like you're completing one cycle of a particular way of being, whether that's mentally or your approach to love in some way, shape, or form, that is no longer needed on this new journey. It's like this was not easy, this was not a small obstacle, it's a part of a bigger plan, is obviously what I'm getting when it comes to progressions. It's like you are now surrendering and trusting the tides and sailing and setting your own sail, in other words. Yeah. Okay, tough, but I get it. Good, nice. Okay, let's see what you actually desire. Three of Pentacles, that's definitely understandable. With the wall, obstacles, yeah, what you desire is you want to break down this wall with mutual compatibility. 56, number 11 might be really significant. There's been a lot of numerological significances in all the piles today. Yeah, it's like you are wanting to work together, to collaborate, to have harmony in any type of contract, connection, relationship. And it feels like you are wanting to break down either your walls or the walls that have been presented to you while trying to find what you desire. The two references that I said when it comes to the wall, of it either being your walls needing to be brought down and or the environment or the people or experiences needing to be brought down. I think actually both apply to you, my viewer. I feel like if you're trying to find that compatibility and, like I said, that union and that teamwork within the self, within your mind, within the way that you think and how you move when it comes to romantic relationships, I feel honestly for your group it's in all types of relationships. I know this was geared for love, but love is in everything we do, in my opinion, so take that as it resonates. But what you're desiring is that union. Again, it's like a merger out of the old way of being into a more stable, grounded, open, and honest connections. All right, let's see, how do we get there? Five of Wands. With Call of the Muse, number 31. I'm hearing to use the competition within yourself. That's how you get there, and I think that's what you're doing. That's what you've done. That's why you're at the Ten of Swords and you're progressing out of this energy. This Five of Wands always, for me, specifically talks about competition, and competition to help you get better. You know, it's healthy competition, in my opinion. It can be a little bit more explosive, but I've never really feel the Five of Wands as something that cannot be handled or that's really an overwhelming energy. It's sort of just like a continuous sort of battle to fight for your worth and to show what you're made of. And the Call of the Muse, and that's again, you being the muse, you being the muse to and for this journey, which is your desire is to create, to pull down these walls and to break through that walls, to break through the competition of others, self, and get what it is that you want, to bring out your own inner beauty and authenticity to gather and get and work, and prove in some sense that you're deserving of this type of connection and love, and that proving may be more to yourself than to somebody else in particular. The key concepts for Call of the Muse: creative expression, being the flow of creativity, tuning into inspiration, allowing creativity without being self-conscious, writing and journaling as a means of connection. So again, using the competition to help you develop, to creatively move forward towards your desired goal. Awesome. Let's continue. Yeah. Page of Cups. Perfect. Heart guardian, love and let yourself be loved. Again, this is all about you, right? It's the Call of the Muse, which is a call to you to creatively move through this, to progress towards your journey, to offer up the love and desires to universe in that calm serenity of knowing and trusting in your abilities and your worthiness to acquire what it is you're actually desiring, to break down these colder, harder shells and open up your heart and let yourself be loved and let love in. You know, it's breaking through the old paradigm of the way you used to view yourself and love connections in general. That's the bridge. There's this heart acceptance, this loving of self. You may have a similar, or you may have been pulled to pile 2 or debating. There might be some messages in here, although they're very different, but there's a very similar echo. Awesome. Then we have, nice, the High Priestess, boom shakalaks, with, awesome, friendship. Bring to me friendship, bring to me friendship true, sharing laughter, understanding too. Yeah. It's like right compatibility, like we talked about, letting your guard down, being open for love and letting love in, to being the muse and showing your fiery, beautiful self, trusting in the intuition, understanding your own spiritual and beautiful gifts, of allowing yourself to not keep things secret anymore, in a sense, Again, it's a sharing of friendship is what I'm feeling like. And that allows, that breakdown of the belief system and the way of perceiving oneself is the progression, is the journey towards this Three of Pentacles, this harmonious teamwork, you know? That's great. Trust in that. Trust in the flow of where everything is. Like we said, call the muse, creatively move, set your own sails with that progressions. Lovely. Okay, the cards you chose. Embrace. Through each other, you find the missing pieces. So this can either be messages from this can either be a reminder of the things on your, the person on your mind, but it also is, again, we're talking about the love and let yourself be loved. It's the embracing of self again, you know, and through your past experiences and past relationships and past moments in general have allowed you to embrace all facets of yourself for this evolution, understanding more of what it is that you're wanting moving forward, you know, understanding what your true desires really are when it comes to harmony. Then we have Queen of Cups, Five of Pentacles, lovely, and the Fool. The Queen of Cups talks about tenderness. The Five of Pentacles talks about completeness. And the Fool talks about an erotic outburst, a surrendering to love, which is the same thing here, right? Embracing that. So this beautiful Queen of Cups is this tenderness and the embracing of the self, like we talked about. That Five of Pentacles is that completeness of the feeling, of the embrace, of the understanding, and the Fool, which is that exciting new beginning, the surrendering to love, to the journey, to what is to come, to what is discovering what you want. Number 23, me and you equals power couple. That's what you're looking for, right? You're on the journey towards to find your power couple, to find your right match, that great balance within this new energy. Spirit's advice or guidance. I'll read it to you. I need you to get excited again. I need you to remember you're not in this thing alone. I'm working on your challenges. I've already assigned angels to you, so let go and of the stress and just trust me. I've got a pretty incredible ending in store. In fact, that's why you need to get excited again, because the happy ending I've got coming is going to knock your world. It's going to knock your world? It's going to rock your world, exactly. And that's why you're leaping into this exciting new surrender to this love and letting yourself be loved. Next messages. Close your eyes and tell yourself that you deserve to feel joyful. You can allow joy into your life regardless of circumstances you currently find yourself in. Yes, and this is what we're talking about, right? The present moment of you releasing. You're at the end of the cycle. So just close your eyes and feel that surrender, peace, that knowing that your heart is opening and that's what you're desiring. Four of Cups. The Star. And Strength. Lovely. The Four of Cups talks about habit. The Star talks about attraction, and Strength talks about dominion. That habit of seeing yourself in a certain way, putting yourself in certain situations. You know, that beautiful star energy of the attraction to maybe just, you know, that way of being, you know, allowing it to gain domain or over you. You know, you're letting that go. You're using it now in a better way, and you're transmuting this energy to help yourself move through this with grace, with love, to open up, to move towards exactly what it is that you're seeking. I'm thinking of you in this very moment. I miss you. So again, this can be from the person on your mind, or from spirit, and or from your higher self. So it's like, I feel that you tend to possibly have a tendency to go back to these thoughts, the past that sort of keeps you in this perpetual cycle of not feeling like you can get what you want, and sort of repeating cycles. And now you're like, I don't need to do that anymore. You're finding the strength to get through that on your own. You can pause. I'm going to read to you. When going through tough times, it's important to remember that nothing up to this point has defeated you. You've overcome challenges before. Be kinder to yourself and be thankful for all that you've already have. Exactly. You know, that's exactly what I feel. Be kinder to yourself. Your spirit is just, you know, is giving you support on this difficult lesson, but you have to, the heart opening is hard for you. So Spirit is recognizing that and not denying that. It's just recognizing that you are still supported and helped, and you can do this. You're already doing it. Third message, power. Yeah, you instinctively know what's right for you, and you have the power to say no and walk away at any time. And that's right. And that's what I feel like you're doing. You're learning that worthiness within self and that power that you actually have to be able to do that. Three of Swords. Yep. The Sun. And the Five of Swords. The Three of Swords talks about pinching. The Sun talks about fusion. And the Five of Swords talks about shaking things up. If we're talking about that pinching, right, it's pinching that fusion to shake things up, which is to believe in yourself, that power to break down the obstacles, to recognize how you want to connect, to immerse yourself in better connections, to allow these walls to break down. I hope that was helpful for you, my beautiful pal threes. Until next time, I'm sending you so much love. Ciao.